Hey everyone, I'm Joe Wolf. I'm the Director of Development here at a local children's cancer treatment hospital in Memphis. We've been working on building a new wing to our cancer center, and the other day, a donor graciously stepped forward and basically gave a gift so large that it covered all of our expenses, which was just fantastic, and I was elated. Well, about a day later, somebody came forward and they said, "Hey, you know, this guy, he's kind of sketchy." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And they said, "Well, he's not an American, he's a foreigner, and he wants to pay in all cash, and we think that he's a drug runner. We don't think we should take the money." And I went, boy, this is a sticky situation. And I thought about it for a little bit, and at the end of the day, I decided to take that money. And before you all berate me about why I chose that, I just want to talk to you for a minute about what we do, what I do for a living every day, and that's treat or help treat children with cancer. Nobody wants to think about their mortality. Nobody wants to think about the fact that they may have a child one day that gets cancer. But the fact of the matter is that 1 in every 285 children do get cancer, and it's expensive. One trip to the hospital for a child with cancer costs $40,000. $40,000. And of all the money that the government gives through our tax money to cancer, only 4% goes to children. I think that's completely abhorrent. But the rest of the money comes from people like you and me, good citizens who decide that they're going to take money out of their pocket and give it to a child who truly needs it. Let me discuss for a minute what some people said to me about why I shouldn't take the money. They said it's wrong. They said, listen, this guy runs drugs. He probably sells cocaine and heroin. He doesn't care if people use his drugs and get sick, but he's oh so compassionate now that he wants to save these kids and save face. And I have to say, that's a valid argument. I'll give it to you. But the other side of that coin is this, two things: compassion and justice. Let's talk about compassion for a minute. I don't know if there's anything more detrimental to a family than a kid who has cancer. The principle of the argument comes down to this: is it okay to take potentially illegal money to treat cancer? Forget about the size of the donation. And if you say no to that, I would just ask you this question. Let's say that his donation was large enough only to treat your child with cancer, and that the only way to save your kid was from this donation. That's the principle of the argument. And I don't think there's a parent in this room that would say, I wouldn't take that money to save my kid. I think if you do say that, you're probably a liar. Everybody wants to do, people do ridiculous things to save their children. Here's the other side of that. What about justice for this donor? We don't even know. We don't even know if he's guilty of this. There's no way of telling. Raise hands. Popular show on Netflix. Who's seen Making a Murderer? This is a great example of guilt before innocence. This man, Stephen Avery, spent 18 years in prison for a rape he didn't commit. Why? Because when he walked into that courtroom, he was guilty before he walked in. And that's what we're doing to this donor. It's a complete injustice to him and the kids. There's a famous French political philosopher named Frederick Bastiat, and he wrote a series of papers in the 1850s. And he said something very poignant, and I think that applies exactly to what we're talking about. And he said, justice is self-evident. Like life and liberty and property, these are things which can only be negated by other people. And that injustice is the only thing that has an existence of its own. And justice is achieved only in the absence of injustice. And I can't imagine a greater injustice than denying a child treatment to cancer because of what could potentially be a rumor. It's So that's why I decided to take the money. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather have this kid saved from cancer, or at least try to save him from cancer, and then find out it's bad money, than to say, hey, we didn't take that money. Some kids might have died because we didn't take it. Oh, and by the way, he's completely clean. So congratulations. That's why I take the money. I take it every day of the week and twice on Tuesday.
Judges, he spoke for 5 minutes and 26 seconds. The 2-minute question and answer period will begin right now.
What about the impact to your brand being associated? What if the allegations are proven true? What about the impact to your brand?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's definitely a risk to that. To say that, well, there's no possible chance that it's bad money is completely ludicrous. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, we're a charity, and people are willing to have their children saved. And I'm willing to take that risk. I mean, we see politicians all the time who take money from questionable sources, and then they get 53 million votes from the American people. So I think at the end of the day, we like to say that we're very moral and that, oh, I don't want to go there because they might have taken bad money. But at the end of the day, when it's your kid, if it was my kid, I would go.
Joe, you did a great job of speaking from your heart. Who are we and who are we listening? And are you trying to, was this just a presentation to a group? Or
Y'all are
is that-
the board of the company, and I was telling you, I was in charge of whether to take the money or not. And
So
there
were
had
you
been
just reporting to us, or was there some decision that we need to
I
make?
think there was some decision that needed to be made about whether or not it was a good idea to take this money.
No other questions? Ladies and gentlemen.